Hello, thanks for clicking. I'm Mark Morse. Today I'm going to be participating in a thread for my new vinyl friend Darryl at Northern Vinyl Guy. I'll provide links down below so you can check out his page and actually look at the original video. So if you want to participate in the thread, you can. Thinking about Darryl, he was at 50 subs when he started this thread. His plan is to get to 100. When I checked this morning, he was well into the 80s, at least mid 80s, and he's gotten a lot of traction on his thread. So a lot of great vinyl community members have jumped in on this, and it's been going really well for him. Puts me in the mind of the first thread I ever did. It was the getting to know your vinyl community members thread, and it was the very first thread I did, and it was kind of where I kind of opened up about my life, my interests, made myself kind of vulnerable for the community. And then I asked the community to kind of share things about them using the prompts in my thread. And let me tell you how that went. So what happened, Darryl, with that thread was nothing. Nothing happened with that thread at all. I tend to drink when I think about this experience. The only person that took part in it was nobody took part in it. Not a single person. But I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter, and I'm glad your thread is getting so much traction, Darryl. You're obviously well loved in this community. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get started on your thread. The first prompt is show a 45 vinyl you have in your collection of a band or artist from Canada. I don't have any 45s of Canadian artists. Or anywhere else if you don't have one. I do have anywhere else. Bonus marks if it's from 1979. So here's my story on 45s and singles. I'm not usually interested in them, except for the Beatles. I have a lot of 45s of the Beatles, and my dog is laughing at me down there. I do have a lot of 45s of the Beatles. They're not Canadian, and they didn't really put out singles in 1979. So I thought I would show this single, All You Need Is Love, by the Beatles. It's a great little single. I thought this would be appropriate for what's going on in our country right now. All you need is love. Love is all you need. So this is the single I'm showing. It's not Canadian. It's not 1979, but it is it is a 45 from a band from somewhere else. So his next prompt is show an album from 1979. That was the year Northern Vinyl Guy was born, 1979. There were tons of great records released in 1979, and I really have a great representation of records from 1979. So I was very excited because I've just been reestablishing my record collection, and so this is the first one where I'm like, oh, I have a wealth of stuff from 1979. So I may be doing a 1979 video here pretty soon. But the record I decided to go with, The Kinks' Low Budget from 1979. Now, you might think this is an odd album or an odd record to show for 1979. It is definitely not one of the Kinks' higher rated albums from their discography. But the reason I'm showing it is because it really doesn't get a lot of love, and I think it's a fine album. It does not compare to some of the other stuff, but I still like it. Low budget's on here, a little bit of emotion. Catch Me Now, I'm Falling. I wish I could fly like Superman. I'm on a low budget. Anyway, that kind of resonated with me today. So I thought I would show Low Budget by the Kinks for 1979. Third prompt, show the 50th album alphabetically in your collection. So this caused lots of problems for me. I don't arrange my records alphabetically. My record arrangement is something that's only going to make sense to me. Sometimes when I see how I group albums, I would think most people would look at it and say, oh, he's just throwing things together. It all makes sense to me, so I can find everything quickly. However, when somebody says, find your 50th record alphabetically, that is a chore. I don't use Discogs. So I sort of found some bands with A names in them, and then I went right to the section where I have the most records, the Beatles. The Beatles again. So no matter how I did this, it was going to end up being a Beatles record. So the album that came up was Songs, Pictures, and Stories of the Fabulous Beatles. This is the VJ record that was, it's just the introducing the Beatles repackaged. I have this, it's kind of an interesting record. Just because of the cover and the history a little bit. I would have rather pulled something out a little more interesting, but I wanted to stick with the 50th record, even though my method may have been unorthodox. This is a genuine copy. I also have a counterfeit copy that I talked about in another video, so we'll not discuss that here. Show an artist, band, album title, or song title that has a number in it. Bonus if it is the number 100. So, my original thought was Rolling Stones 100 years ago from Goathead Soup, but that dirty dog Alex from Beer and Vinyl, he took that idea right from my mouth. The other one that I was wanting to use was the Proclaimers, I Would Walk 500 Miles, because it had 100 in there 5 times. But I only had that on CD, and I didn't want to break up this nice vinyl collection here. So I went with one of my favorite bands, the Alice Cooper Band. This poor thing. This I got as a teenager. Actually, my friend, the late Brian Ferguson, got this for me probably when I was 15 years old. The song on here that I'm going to feature is I'm 18. 18 is the number. I'm 18. Lines form on my face and hands. Anyway, I still feel that kind of 18 song in my heart. That is my response thread. Please go check out Darryl at Northern Vinyl Guy. I think you're going to enjoy his page, and I think you're going to enjoy him. Thanks for doing this, Darryl, and I'm glad your thread is taking off so well, and not like my first thread did, that I don't feel bitter about it at all. Not at all. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you all again soon.